Hello everyone, we are back again to talk about the stuff that I want to talk about because I like talking about stuff. Yeah. So, we are going to discuss anime, specifically the harem issue. Now I know a lot of people disagree with this because, let's face it, a lot of anime is primarily watched by boys, and young boys like seeing boobies. And I've talked a lot about ecchi, but I want to really focus on the harem issue in anime. Ecchi can be excused in many ways. For those who don't know what ecchi is, we're talking about just this sexualization, especially over-sexualization many times of the women inside of anime, and how it is done purposefully simply to draw in customers. That's what we are to the studios who are producing these things. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. And there's nothing inherently wrong with there being lots of sexuality inside of anime. But the harem issue is completely different because what it is a pure manipulation of boys. That's what it is. It's this idea that every boy has, and even grown men, that they'd love to have a bunch of women fawning over them, a bunch of women following them around, willing to do whatever they want. And it is just, quite frankly, embarrassing. It is insulting, it's infantilizing, and it's definitely not the kind of thing that we want younger kids to be just constantly subjected to. My biggest issue with it, that's the worst thing. My biggest issue is not even necessarily the harem aspect. It's the fact that there are anime that could potentially be great and instead have the quality of their production be so lowered by the introduction of this harem. I don't know if people can hear this chair squeak. I really gotta use WD-40 on this. But harem stories in general in most anime are completely redundant. They do not add to the story. They do not add to the main character's development. Many times they're distractions. They take serious issues and serious parts in series and just completely, for some reason, sexualize them. Instead of having interesting women or powerful characters near the main character, you instead just have these women who are just there for eye candy. And the biggest weird part of it is many times, even though the harem concepts are introduced, the ecchi factor is thrown in, they're all over sexualized, the main character in general doesn't ever touch or interact with any of them in any fashion. He doesn't date them, he doesn't fall in love. Many times they might show some affection. There seems to be moments where the main character will show that he wants to be sexual, but there's always this block. It doesn't matter how much the female character throws herself and says she wants him, he won't do it. He just won't. And so it again becomes this pointless waste of time within anime. So a 20 or 26 episode series, or many times now there are 12 to 13 episodes, huge chunks of time are wasted on this harem instead of the development of the damn world and story, which people want. The most popular anime out there in general are not including harem or ecchi in them. The most famous series don't have that, or when they do have ecchi, it is just a pure sense of a female character who's actually still interesting or whatnot happens to have big boobs or something, which is fine. People have larger breasts in real life. But harem serves no purpose. If there's not going to be love, if there's not going to be relationship, if there's not going to fucking be sex, what is the point of this thing happening in your show? And I take issue of this because I love anime. I love animation. I love shows. I love story. And when you are crafting a story, every scene must have purpose. Because if you can make your series be 6 episodes, but the 6 episodes are perfect, are beautiful, are rendered and drawn in a way that it's just really draws you in, and the character development and everything is interesting, then guess what? Your 6 episodes are going to make you way more money than your 12 episodes where 6 of them are just wasted with harem. And people might disagree. They might think that, oh, men are only going to go for the series when there's this. I think that's really, we're looking down on young boys, because yes, they do think with their dicks a lot, but they do appreciate story, they do appreciate action, they do appreciate visuals, they do appreciate everything else. There's a reason why you take all the top series now and they have not, it has nothing to do with those things. It has nothing, there's no ecchi, there's no Full Metal Alchemist, Hunter x Hunter, Mob Psycho 100, One Punch Man. Like, each of these series might have like a second or two of ecchi, if even, and yet everything else is fully focused on character development and world building and lore and just great action scenes. And those are the dominant series, and they've been dominant forever. You look in the top 10, top 20 anime series of all time, some are super old, have zero ecchi, crappy graphics, and they're still in the top 10 to top 20 lists, most famous ever. Studio Ghibli, all their movies are famous, well known, they're considered masterpieces. Zero ecchi, zero harem. I mean, most of the time their main characters are little children, little girls. There's no sexualization, and they're famous. And most of the, I mean, I've worked in stores, many stores, where I was managing younger employees, ages 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Almost all of them loved anime, and all the anime they talked to me about was anime that had nothing to do with harem stuff. And so we get this contamination of the anime world with these things where studios are wasting their time on this crap, and we lose out on the possibility of great stories. And it's the worst part, because some of these things should just be fucking hentai. Like, if you want to make porn, just fucking make porn. You want to do ecchi and harem shit, go make hentai porn. If you want to make a good story, then keep that shit to the minimum, so that people can come in and actually really delve into your world. Because I've seen some great anime where the world is there, the characters are there, everything is just there, and then it just gets trashed by this stuff. And harem is just worse. It's inherently worse to me than ecchi, because harem just, it showcases a mentality of how men act. Most of the guys that I know, again, even the youngest boys, even though they might have this fantasy in their head that they want to be with lots of girls, in general, most of them just want to have a girlfriend. They just want to have a girlfriend who they like, who they can care for, who they can love, and yes, have lots of sexy time. But they don't want to have 9 girls chasing after them in a weird fucking way. It might sound fun in our head, but most people genuinely aren't looking for that. There's a reason why polygamy is not that popular. I mean, sure, it might be because culturally in many places it's not accepted, but even the places where it is accepted, and even to the people, in general, most people don't do it because it's a pain in the ass. We don't actually want that in our life, and it's a waste of time in our series. It just takes away. Maybe I'm looking at this too seriously, but I consider anime and animation in general to be an art form. I consider it to be entertainment. I consider it to be a way for me to discover new worlds and stories. And I think we are just losing out on some phenomenal series that could be there, and instead are just wrecked by this kind of stuff. So this is a call out to all the studios to stop wasting time with this crap. And if you do want to focus on that, go make some porn. Just go make some porn. Nobody cares. I mean, I do. I'd rather that shit didn't exist either. But go make it. No one's stopping you. And stop calling things anime when it's really just weird, pointless kind of porn in disguise. Deal? Thanks, folks.